in the love of liberty, in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Remember
Well, everybody, good morning to you, and welcome to it. Good to have you here on New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. This is where we take you above and beyond. Good-looking Thursday morning. It is a Thursday, right? Sometimes I have to remind myself where I am. Yeah. But good morning to everybody, Trinidad and Tobago, neighbors in the Caribbean, friends and family all around the globe. Good day to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let me say much thanks to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. And everything that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing, honor to you. People, I'm yours truly, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in your company. And of course, with this unstoppable team. Yes, this is your Get Up and Go. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Oh, good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning, and welcome to the Breakfast Show on this Thursday morning. The weekend begins tonight, people, in case you did not know, at a second after midnight. And of course, welcome to all of our viewers and listeners, wherever you are on planet Earth, whatever time it is on planet Earth, wherever you are. Welcome to the Breakfast Show, coming to you live out of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are glad you joined us. We know you have choices, and we're glad you chose us. So good morning to my co-host, Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Sir Charles. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's not so beautiful for me on this Thursday morning. Because I think I don't like to burden people with my worries, but I think I don't know what happened in terms of, I did a COVID test and I know it came back negative. But I don't know what is this craziness going on with my body these days. And to make matters worse, I had a miserable night trying to sleep. To make matters worse, they came in. I don't know if they're spraying up by you, Richard. The truck.
Yeah.
And that thing invaded the house this morning, and I don't have to tell you what happened to me after that. You understand?
That's about 2 days ago or something. They didn't buy you this morning?
I got it this morning, but I didn't know. I didn't get any warning that they were coming to spray.
They usually drive around saying or something.
Yeah, but I may have missed it. But they sprayed by me and they sprayed heavily by me. I didn't even get a chance to cover my fishes. I don't even want to go outside and look. But
Word.
And then the people inside by me, they decide they don't want to cut the grass, they want to spray the grass. So it's a whole brown field east of me. So I don't have to tell you what that spray did to me too. So it's all that combination that kind of have my sinuses on going absolutely crazy the last few days.
Wow. So it's like you got a chemical overload.
Yeah, it's a chemical overload. It is a chemical overload. Morning Norris Ferguson, who advised me to go and do something, and he is the one who pointed out to me, look east of you and see what's going on. And that I've complained about that before. You know what I mean? This spraying, killing grass with poison. Yeah, cut the damn grass. You know what I mean? Because there is a guy who comes with a whacker and cut, and he likes shortcut. He decided to spray the all east of me. And that spray could only come one place, by me. You understand the residue of that spray? Lord. But I'm here. Every now and then I'll have to just silence my mic to cough, right? So please excuse me. I'm saying that from earlier on. And I'm really battling a terrible cough here. All right? But we're in the land of the living. For those who would have lost loved ones, our condolences. And those who are celebrating birthdays, today is August 21st. Let me see who I have. celebrating birthdays today. If you guys have any birthdays, feel free. Let me just see who's celebrating birthdays today. Right, birthdays today. Kezron Lewis. That's it. And Ingrid Robinson. Just those two. Kezron Lewis and Ingrid Robinson. I remember Kezron was into IT and so on. I don't know if he's still doing that. All right. So happy birthday to you all.
Yeah. I don't have any birthdays this morning. I think the next birthday I have is around the 20th of month.
I was kind of trying to look at it quickly, but I'm not up to date with all birthdays. But.
Yeah. Ambrose Blythe, I am actually drinking ginger tea right now, and I had coconut water yesterday because I'd be lucky now. A coconut vendor set up right in front by us on the main road, and they have some really nice coconut water. Some young fellas, I don't know where they're from, but they have some really good coconut water. So I get my coconut water from right there now. I had a bottle driving up the road yesterday, But I didn't know that they're wrecking still in Woodbrook that already day, because I went by El Pecos yesterday, somewhere between 12 and 1. I went by El Pecos, and I mean people park up on the avenue. That already day, there's nothing really no traffic issues and so on. You know what I mean? And I'm in the line, getting my food, and all of a sudden, I see people scrambling. So I look up, in El Pecos have this big screen where they're showing the cameras out in the road, and there's a record of time. So I say, something? Let me rest on my food and just go and see where I park. And I was parked in front of what they call a bus stop on Arapita Avenue. You're not supposed to park in front of bus stops. Now, years ago when I was in council, I asked them to remove those bus stops because no bus stops on the avenue. You understand? No bus stops on Western Main Road. So they have these things that people get tickets for all the time, but no bus ain't stopping there, right? But anyway, I moved my vehicle, but they took up another girl somebody's vehicle right in front of El Pecos. And when I came back inside, it happened to be the girl right behind me. And I said, they took the car that was right. She said, "You serious?" I said, "Yes." And she ran outside. Of course, it's too late. They're gone with the car. But the police, what has upset me with these things is that the police never walked into El Pecos and say, "Excuse me, anybody driving?" So, which is what they're supposed to do.
They never do that.
They never do it. And I used to have a problem with that when they used to be wrecking cars in the city. But they're still doing it. They never, because it's kind of obvious if a car parked in front of El Pecos, that's where the person is.
Yeah, would most likely go right there.
You understand? They never walked in and said anybody drive. They just gone with the girl. I felt sorry for her. I really felt sorry for her. Because I don't like to see those kind of things happen, especially when you're parked in a place that clearly is of no disturbance to anybody. You understand? No disturbance to anybody. You're not in front of a driveway. You're not in front of a hydrant. You understand? Things that kind of obvious where you shouldn't park now. I don't like those kind of things at all. I don't care what people say about the law and so on. Those things are unreasonable, and it's actions like that turn citizens against the police.
It's why many people don't like the wrecking.
But I don't think it's me having to do.
Yeah, but it's why many people don't like wrecking in Port of Spain. But isn't it the mayor who reintroduced the wrecking?
It was, but I'm not so sure that the city is the ones controlling it. The last time I heard it was all the funds was going to the TTPS.
But it's he who reintroduced it.
Yes, and I railed against it when he did it. Yeah. I said it's a retrograde step.
Yeah. So
imagine now you're going to buy your food. Because some of us don't have anybody to cook to us. We buy food. You understand? And El Pecos, to me, I have to admit, El Pecos, you're getting a free idea this morning. It's probably the most consistently good tasting food anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. By El Pecos. You understand? But they wrecked the girl car. I died the first, and I go to El Pecos regularly, and I've never experienced that. And this was middle of the day. You know, it was sad. It was sad. It was sad. Yeah, the police defender come on the chat already.
Yeah. I was saying the wrecking should be, somebody calls out a wrecking for a particular issue. That's when it should be activated. You're blocking the driveway.
That's what we tried to do as a council.
Yeah, that they call you out, call a number and say, look, somebody has blocked my driveway. Can you attend to it, please?
Listen, yesterday when I was leaving St. James, a woman parked up dead center of my driveway. Which is a regular thing on the Western Main. I said nothing. I walked up. I smiled and she came out of the car, right? I was walking out the gate. She came out of the car, smiled at me, and said, okay, I'm just going right there. But I can't be unreasonable. You know what I mean? Because she knows she's in front of a driveway, and a driveway that is regularly used. But what I gonna call a record for a person like that if she just running to get something to eat or something? So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't do that.
I understand you. Let's get into our good news for this morning before we get into the chat. No, the good news is not the three of us, even though we are great news. That's called cricket. That's called cricket anywhere.
I love that. I love that. You're not running, they're sliding down the hill.
I call that clip cricket anywhere. And it always makes you want to play cricket. It's like, that looks like real fun.
Yeah, play it again.
It's funny. He puts it in bad to get in the crease there. Lying on halfway on top of the hill.
If only children could learn to play like that again, eh?
Oh my God, that is boy days.
Yeah.
When they talk about boy days, that reminds me of plenty there.
Yeah. Playing cricket in the rain, playing squash.
What? Yeah.
And
I think that is I think that's the reason why I love the rain so much, even up to today. Because of experiences like that. We go in this when it's raining, we leave, we run down in by George's Savannah and 6th Avenue, and this real thing in that Savannah in the mud,
Of course, TKR lost last night to Antigua Barbuda Falcons. They lost, and this I think is the third time that Antigua has beaten them. And Antigua is one of the weaker teams, but they played really good cricket last evening, so congratulations to the Antigua Barbuda Falcons on defeating TKR last night. You see that they had TKR at a period where they bowled 4 overs and got hit for 63 runs. 4 overs, 63 runs. That turned the match. I mean, Kieran Pollard tried down in the end there, but poor fella, he couldn't make it. We came close. We came within 7 runs? But they bowled a really good last over and they beat us. So congratulations to the Antigua. So Nelicia Yates must be a happy person this morning, although she's West Indies. I think she's based in Antigua. Morning, Nelicia. you know. Maxine Richards
Do you know, interestingly enough, do you know that you can now grow apples in Trinidad? And there are several...
I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, and there are several people that said that one of the places that really has some good rootstock is on O'Mara Road. There is if you're coming up O'Mara Road or the Lisa Morris Julian Boulevard, as soon as you come off the highway, heading into Arima, there's a plant place on your left-hand side.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know
plant place. They have a lot of rootstock, and she was telling me she was trying to get in contact with the Minister of Agriculture to get some acreage to really do it, and to, of course, facilitate the local market, and well, wherever it could go. And interestingly enough, she said, she doesn't have direct access to Kevin. What is it? Ravi Rataram? Who's it?
It's Ravi Rataram, yes.
Ravi Rataram is the Minister of Agriculture. And she said previously, in the last government, they tried to speak to the minister.
Kazim Hussain.
Speak to the last minister, and she had gone to somebody, I can't remember who, and they said that just looked like a backyard thing. You were already doing planting. And she said they were so...
The whole idea again, the land is to do the planting.
Exactly, but because they have a fairly sizable thing there with a lot of the plants, because we buy plants there sometimes. But she was so passionate about it, and she said, where they're getting interest from? Ghana. And so she may just, deal with Ghana in terms of dealing with it, because she said obviously Trinidad is not interested. And they have some really good rootstock and selling, and they sell out. Yeah, a lot of people buy them because you can grow them in a pot, like a 30-inch pot, and they will actually grow and bear actual apples. So
you trying it? Are you trying it?
I tried one from her a while ago because it's not really bearing right now. Yeah, and she also had some other interesting food. Really good.
I'll try. I'll pass and try because I have limes. I have a lime tree growing in a small pot laden with limes,
Yeah. They have what kind of interesting thing that's going on. Obviously, they're very passionate about what they do, and so she has she has a stock of plants right now, but but she, I always like talking with her. I always find she's very passionate. Even though the man, her husband, is really the head honcho, he understands plants and trees extremely well, even more than her. But she's also very knowledgeable.
I've never stopped there, but I go by People's Agri. People's Agri down at the bottom of Tumpuna Road?
In Tumpuna Road, yeah. I've gone there too.
Yeah, I go there, yeah. But they are very knowledgeable. Mrs. Blash and Natalie Blash, they're very knowledgeable. Yeah.
Interesting. Right. Then we say good morning to people in the chat.
Let's do that now. Joyce Phillip at 11:53 p.m. Top of the morning, guys. That was Pan, Sweet Pan. People like Rain. Saw you, Suzanne Jessup.
So that was the pan and powder yesterday. Is that
pan and powder? Yeah. Something I normally would attend, but I had to stay far from DOS yesterday. God's love, grace, blessings, Sir Charles, Richard, and Wendell from Suzanne, Suzette, and Mrs. Gemma. Valerie Mendoza. Good morning to the breakfast team. It was nice outside, but it's better at home. Of course, she's back from Orlando, Florida. Kwesi St. Louis, who's a new name. Good morning, guys, from El Salvador. Literally one of the safest South American countries right now. Trinidad needs something like this. When we play a clip for you just now, we'll get your opinions on it. Donna Ramlo Chan says, good morning, Sir Charles, Richard, Wendell. Boy Bidesi from Debe says, good morning. Brennan Smith from Goodwood in Tobago. The weekend has begun. Michael Cadet, good morning, everyone. Wendy Ann and Frank James also says, good morning. Enjoy the day. Marcia Rock from Orlando, Florida is locked on. Eva Smith also is locked on. Odell Guy from Sangre Grande, good morning. Blessings to all. Anne Noel from Oshawa, Ontario. Alistair Hart from San Fernando. Margaret Thomas from Trinidad and Tobago, I think. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr from Arima.
Good morning, Sherwin and Juliet.
Erica Charles, thank God for life. Norris Ferguson. Norris, I don't know how you make out with that spraying this morning, boy. It was strong. Says good morning, everyone. Robert Taylor from Fernandina Beach. Melissa from Charfleur. Marlon Motley from North Valsaine. Wayne Ramsey
Morning,
from
Marlon.
Carl Guevara from Chaguanas. Diane Payne from New Grant. All right. I don't think she ever put that there before, but thanks for joining us. Stella Services says good morning all. CJ from New York, do have a fantastic day. Felix Cazo.
Morning, CJ.
Good morning. Patricia Defoe, Josie Richardson, Magic, Carol Guevara, the Iron Have Me So Bazudi. Is that so, Carol? Okay. All right. If you say so.
The song.
Oh, I told you, Charles. Katia and Charles. I'm going to cough once I laugh. Katia and Charles says good morning again. James Kamau, Grand Rising TNT from the west of TNT. Okay. Michael Robinson from Yokohama in Japan. Lambert Bruce from El Dorado. Ambrose Blah from New York. Ron DeSantis Jr. from Norfolk, Virginia. Ambrose Blah, when they'll drink lots of green juice with ginger and coconut water. I'm trying. Grand Rising, gentlemen. Today makes 43 years since I moved to DC for school. That's Chris too. Say morning, Chris. And Chris is doing well out there with his family. Slick Money Grip says good morning, gentlemen. Mike Sankofa say miraculous healing graces and blessings, Wendell. Thank you very much, Sankofa. Good morning, all. Says, as Richard always, the laws are quite anti-citizen, so how do we expect business to flourish? Yeah, I had a problem with that in council, and I do have a problem with it out of council. That's from DL, of course. Mrs. R says good morning, Trinidad Margo. Good morning, gentlemen from Florida. Rena Bulu Jennings from Pity Valley. Bernadette Yates says good morning. Sankofa said bountiful graces. Sankofa repeating his messages. Mrs. R said park on side street and walk. That's not easy for everybody, Mrs. R. Some people can't walk properly. Some people can't walk far. You know, but again, as I said, come and ask. Give the person a chance to move the car. That's all I'm asking. Kurt Hope from Nashville, Tennessee says good morning. Gavin Frank from Powder Magazine says good morning. Claire Lendor Rollins also says good morning. Sankofa says he does not park in Port of Spain Avenue, St. James. It is ridiculous. It is unjust money hustle. I agree with you. David McCarthy, top of the day and a tantalizing Thursday to the terrific trio. He's waxing poetically this morning. Carol Guevara, love that cricket.
Good morning, Mrs. R.
Morning, few good men. Chevron Shogun says good morning, guys. Pan was nice. Seeing so many young people playing and supporting the culture was fantastic. You're absolutely right. Good one on the good news, says Odell Guy. Ava Smith, wow, that's called baton slide. Ozzy Molino says good morning. Lincoln says good morning also. And grapes. He said they're selling grapes too, Richard. You could grow grapes here. I've seen people grow grapes here. Trini Gets Fit says good morning. Who's the new one? Helen Prescott, good morning. Kurt Hope. Robert Harper says good morning. Julia Batiste, good morning. Melchizedek, good morning. Bernadette said Melissa was back in TKR. Okay, I suspect. Juliet Kirkpan and Powder was fantastic. Jaron Joseph says good morning and blessings to all. All right, so those are the chats.
All right, so those who came in on the WhatsApp in order of appearance. So good morning to Foxy. Good morning to Miss Sampson out there in San Fernando. To Kent in Laventel. Terry and Peters, Mover people. Oliver Manoarin, I'm not sure where Oliver is from. Carlin in Carenage. Archbishop Ashton Clark in Canada. Charmaine out there in New York. Zena, Rima people. Fifi in Addis Ababa. Frank Andrews in Aruka. Captain Ron, Orlando, and Judith out there in Mount St. George, Tobago. All the best to you guys. Have a fantastic day. Yeah, that's it, guys. So I think we could go to the break and come back.
All right. S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Coach, yes, Coach, are you passionate about serving others and supporting people as they reach the highest version of themselves? My name is Jesse McBarrow, and I've been able to earn a living as a life coach serving people all around the world, and so can you. Are you ready to be internationally certified? Enroll today for this program and learn everything that you need to know about being a professional life coach. Listen, there are payment plans available as well too, so see you in class.
Well, I suppose we can get into the daily newspapers for today before we get into the substantive matters.
Yeah, let's do that. You don't go out and get physical papers anymore.
Let's see if we can book that out.
You just hugging a pillow late in the morning. You just hugging a pillow late in the morning every day now.
Especially when I have rehearsals.
I know how tough it is. Scholar dies, today's express that is online. Scholar dies days after exam success, and that's the 19-year-old pundit. Well, they describing him as a 19-year-old student and pundit who died in the accident on the Beetham Highway. We spoke about that yesterday. Court dismisses urgent hearing of appeal by CPEP contractor. Marchand grabs Pan American silver. That's Jaden Marchand, the quarter miler. TNT off the mark in Billie Jean, and some other stories trending. Days after celebrating exam success, teen dies in Beetham Highway crash. Princestown couple tied up and robbed. I don't know if that's the video Paul sent me this morning, but I sent it to you, Richard. I sent it in the chat also too. With people breaking into a home. So I asked him if that's police. He said, no, it's bandits. They're actually breaking into the burglar proofing door with a hammer and whatever, and taking out the crabs from the wall to get into the house while the woman is there screaming and calling for help. It is a crazy video. I sent it.
I didn't see that video.
Yeah, I sent it in the chat and I emailed it to you. Only just now I got it a while ago. Tobago's man hands severed in Esplanade stabbing. How is hands severed in a stabbing? 29 is a chopping. 29-year-old killed in head-on collision with maxi taxi. That's also a trending story in today's Express. All right. And of course, one of the other trending stories is the fact that the cabinet is concerned about the threats against Wayne Sturge, Minister Wayne Sturge. They are deeply concerned. That story, I don't understand. That particular story. But I'll talk about it a little later. Go ahead, guys.
All right. So the Newsday for today, and the main stories in the Newsday: Grandy residents not surprised by Sturge threats. Alexander claims gang leader of resistance Valencia faction admits to 30 murders. Newsday cops 2 awards, special mention at CBU. A UE fee increase will not take place this year. Man hospitalized after police involved shooting at Claxton Bay. An unemployed San Fernando man found dead at home. Justice Minister, virtual courts may move to Port of Spain Magistrates Court. So that's just some of the headlines in the Daily Express this morning.
Did you say 13? I think it's 30.
30, I said. 30.
Okay. All right, sounded like...
When you say 30, you want me to say 30, then you'll understand it.
So in the Guardian today, cops hunt 19 gangsters, and as we scroll down, Good Samaritan robbed while trying to save accident victim. Don't stop on Beetham Highway. PTSC offers support to families of crash victims. Lara, leave me out political bacchanal. Sturge, alive and well, cabinet colleagues say. And COP, as in Commissioner of Police, supports PM stance on Trinis held in Venezuela. I mean, no decision yet on back pay for councillors. And the US Vice President cites TNT as example in crime commentary. Okay. All right. So those are just some of these stories in Vicar.
Well, no decision yet on back pay. The decision was made long before. It's just to release the funds.
Probably
you don't want to make a decision on it. People entitled to their back pay. Especially local government people. Come on, Minister. I mean, don't do that. You were part of that fraternity. Don't deny them that. Give the local government people their back pay. Get me upset.
Let me just read a part. The Minister of Rural Development and Local Government says no decision has been made by the ministry to deduct allowances for chairmen and councillors of committees from councillors' retroactive back pay payments. I don't know. I was so.
All it needs is a release of funds because the decision was already made. Yes, and the parliamentarians got it. So don't do that to local government people.
Yeah, people need their back pay. People always need their back pay. Mm-hmm. So let me qualify by saying that. You always want your back pay. So if it's to be processed, just process it. That's my thinking. Anyway, we have a couple of videos to play, so let's get to playing them. And then the one that you just sent me, I uploaded. I just hope it's not porn. So,
which one is that? Yeah, I'm worried now.
Well, I don't know because you sent it. And between you and Paul, I don't know what I'm going to watch.
Some violent, crazy people who are screaming at kids with a few crazy liberals who are screaming at the vice president. But I think that's a very worthwhile trade to make because we want our people to be able to enjoy our beautiful cities. And the last thing I'll say is to the American people, D.C. is already safer than it was 9 days ago, but we're going to make it safer still to come. This is your city. You should feel free to come and visit here, have a meal, see all these incredible monuments, and actually enjoy yourself. And that's what we're trying to make happen. And I think that if we set a standard in Washington, D.C., that political willpower can bring some common sense, law and order back to these communities, then maybe some other communities and other cities will follow suit. So it's kind of crazy. You hear these guys outside. They appear to hate the idea that Americans can enjoy their communities, and they do the fact that D.C. a week ago had a higher murder rate than Trinidad and Tobago, which the United States State Department has said you shouldn't visit because it's unsafe. We ought to be able to enjoy great American cities. That's what we're trying to do in the Trump administration.
going camping on the side. The wall after the cemetery and then the wall that was street on the right hand side of something. Oh God. After the tent, you see the tent, you see all the cars parked up in front right after the tent.
Now, if those two videos didn't worry you, I don't know what else will. One is the American vice president saying that DC was as bad as Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? And they are making moves to fix it. He mentioned Trinidad and Tobago. And the other one is the evidence of how bad Trinidad and Tobago is. These are guys breaking into somebody's home with a sledgehammer or whatever it was, breaking out the burglar-proofing gate.
I really wasn't understanding that video. I was like, is that a landlord trying to evict? That's where my brain went initially, because you're so bravidage about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person at the gate had a phone in their hands. You're not masked.
Yes.
So you could be filmed, obviously, I assume the person may be doing some filming too, I don't know, of the persons who are trying to break in. But obviously it's a very scary situation, and more so for children. It seemed as if children were there.
Yeah, there were children, 3 children. Lando is saying, he said, I think it's an eviction issue. I didn't get that. Because when I asked the person if it was police trying to break in their home because, they don't need warrant now, they could break your door and come in. The person said, no, it's bandits. So I don't know if there's another part of the story that we didn't get.
Obviously, it's traumatizing for the children.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at those issues from the child's eyes, about what is going on and the fear they must feel. Because when you see adults in fear or adults traumatized, children will follow suit. They will be like, they become traumatized too. So that's always my concern. I mean, but it's hard to see. It seemed to me as if it might be an eviction rather than bandits, but it's hard to tell. But obviously, she was scared,
mm-hmm.
and that's not the way you do evictions legally. Let me say it that way, because to evict a tenant, if it was an eviction issue, you have to go to court, and if it was an actual eviction, you'd be accompanied by police officers.
Yeah.
Someone
is offering another opinion here. They said it's a domestic dispute, something with a common law wife. Again,
I don't know, but that can also be scary.
Involved.
Yeah. That can all domestic situations can also be scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have enough examples of domestic situations that have ended in tragedy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we could play it again one more time just to kind of reference it.
Stop with that, please. Stop it.
It almost sounds like she knows who it is, huh?
The wall after the cemetery and then the wall that was street on the right hand side of something. Oh God. After the tent, you see the tent, you see all the cars parked up in front right after the tent.
Two things I picked up there, Richard. Well, a couple things. One, she's obviously calling the police, giving them directions. But she also appears to know who they are by saying, oh, you stop it. You know what I mean? I mean, you won't tell a stranger, oh, you stop it. You know what I mean? She probably knows who it is. That's the second thing I picked up. And that I gather I was hearing one of the guys saying, you have to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard that.
Yeah. Then you have to get out. But that's what I'm saying. Evictions have a particular legal process.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're not following the process, of course, we don't know the circumstances. If they're not following the process, you are entitled to call the police.
Mm-hmm.
And the police will come and tell the landlord, if it's a landlord, you need to follow the process.
Yeah.
This is the process for eviction. You can't just throw somebody out just like that. You know, there's a process. Because many times landlords and tenants have disagreements over certain issues.
Mm-hmm.
And so it may not just be an issue of owing rent.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the relationship could have all sorts of, colors and contextual references with regard to what exactly is going on, which sometimes has to end up before a judicial officer.
Yeah.
Of course, the landlord-tenant law in Trinidad is archaic. It does not help either party much, include landlords nor tenants. It's very archaic. It has not been modernized. And certainly, the tenant is often the weaker party in that relationship. And there is no, there are very few protections. I mean, the law provides some level of protection. I don't want to say it's none, but it needs to be modernized, but it has not been. And that law is archaic and it has not been modernized. But my theory in that is that so many of the people who sit in parliament are landlords. They have no interest in modernizing it.
Yep.
That's my opinion. Yeah, okay. So all you get all your underwear in a twist. That's my opinion.
That's Richard's opinion.
True, because he has had that opinion ever since.
that many of the people who sit in parliament are in fact landlords.
Yeah.
They have no interest in modernizing the law, in making the relationship more modern in terms of access to justice for both sides.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad opinion, but as I said, I tend to agree with you because I'm seeing these things happening over and over again. But people, let's see if we can take a couple calls as we move forward, as we organize the poll, Wendell.
Yeah, I cannot do it.
Right, so people, you can call us at 281-1315. That's 281-1315. The phone is immediately busy. Yeah. So, good morning to you, caller.
Good morning. Reference the contribution from the Vice President of the United States. It will do him justice to do a survey to see how much people BC have in it, as opposed to how much people Trinidad and Tobago have in it. So the crime rate must be higher in DC than in Trinidad and Tobago. You understand? And reference the video with the breaking in. You're right, Richard. I didn't think about that, and I changed my whole perspective after you mentioned that. It does look like a landlord-tenant issue. When you played it again, I did hear the man saying, all you have to get out. Yeah. And I will tell you something, as a landlord don't reach that point just so. These people have been given numerous eviction notices, I'm sure, and they failed to comply with the eviction notices. Now, here's the problem with that, as you said with Richard. There is a legal system. But if one chooses to use the legal system, they would have to, that person would be in their property for 6 to 9 months without paying rent. The average landlord don't have that patience, time, or money to waste. And I am a landlord, and I am one who could tell you that action there is the most expeditious action to get a tenant out your place if you want them out your place. And there is nothing the police can do when they call the police to do when they get there, because that is your place. You're entitled to break down your door if you want to do it. Yeah, and if you're willing to stand up.
I want to disagree with you, Lincoln.
Well, you just watch a whole movie called Straw. Or you see what happened? Or you see the result of that eviction?
I want to disagree with you. There are things that police can do, because there is a legal process for eviction.
I've had that experience several times.
So you break down people door, Lincoln?
I did what I had to do.
You break down people, don't put them out in the road? Is that what you do?
I put out people. I have put out people in the road already, and put out people things out of my apartment already, and I have locked my apartment with people things inside it
Lucky
already.
you and me that girl
Because
from
once you're
Strong.
owing me money, you will not get back your items. And if you're not owing me money and you're not paying your rent, I will put out your things out of my. I've done both, and the police have been called, and there is nothing the police could do about it. That is my house, and I will do as I please.
No.
All right. Okay. Thanks very much.
In your case, if it is that the police did nothing, the police were wrong.
Yeah.
There's a process.
Yeah, because I said it has a process. Even though you are the owner of the place and you let people in the place or whatever.
Which is why I said that the laws concerning the landlord-tenant relationship does not serve either party well. And why they need to be modernized. And when I say either party, I mean landlords too. In your ability to get somebody out in a quick time and stuff like that, it doesn't facilitate that. And that's also why it needs to be modernized. But it also needs to be modernized in terms a lot of the rights of tenants are compromised by landlords. And also the kind of place that you can rent. Some people rent ridiculous places.
Mm-hmm.
For real. Caller, good morning to you.
Morning, sir. This is Linda.
Morning, Linda.
Sir, I have a message for everybody who is visiting Peter Avenue and the businesses in Woodbrook. I have a home that is 3 doors away from the avenue. And if anybody parks in my driveway, they know they are doing wrong. There are people inside who may need to go to the airport to catch a flight. There may be elderly people who need to get medical assistance. There may be people to come in to visit my home, and now they cannot access my driveway to park inside. So my message to anybody who parking in my driveway is the record will be called. And no mercy. I am fed up of people taking advantage of people's rights in Trinidad, right? And I don't have any staff like Wendell, so I don't have anybody to go across by the doctor opposite to ask whose car is that. You park in my driveway, record for you. Thanks, sir. Bye-bye.
Okay, no problem.
I give up. I honestly, I know how you feel, ma'am. And I sat in a council where I supported Woodbrook residents with what they wanted. What I don't support is wreckers hustling people, and which is what had started to happen. I don't support that. But on the Western Main Road where I am, I give up. I don't even bother because a man tell me, "Why you don't like black people?" I say, "Brother man, I leave him. Yes, I walk away." Not me. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for these ignorant, hateful, vengeful people in Trinidad and Tobago anymore. I don't have time and patience.
Okay, caller, good morning.
Good morning, Sir Charles.
Morning, Zina.
Good morning, Richard and Wendell.
Morning, Zina.
Morning, Zina.
The clip with that Vice President of America, it shocked me. It's so much that I wanted to know how on earth did Trinidad come into that conversation with what he was saying? Why that had to come in there? That means you're getting real stories about what happened back here, and I don't think it was done in America, any part of America. But it's how it came in. I find it made no sense. It was totally out of place, and he was out of line.
Next thing I know is Trinidad, they come into raid with them ships that they circle in the place with him.
Well, you never know. You never know because people normally know how they complaining as we to the president about and who did sanction. Anyhow, I came across that feed last night. It just popped up when I was looking through Facebook. And that bacchanal, well, I listened part of it. It was too much. It was the woman who was at the door. She was living with her common law husband in his sister's house. And the man just dead. So he died about a week ago. So I heard some woman was
I see that bacchanal. I'm not reading your bacchanal.
Yeah, she
so
said
the man family put her out, putting her
the man
out.
said, oh God, the man ashes and even call. 7 days he will give somebody
Wickedness, man.
to leave a house. So, like the sister came from America for the funeral, and the house belongs to her. So that she gave the woman, because from what I picked up, she never liked the woman for the husband. He picked her up, and with 3 children, the children is not his. I say a bacchanal. And she was living there with him. And now that as he died, well, his sister came for the funeral, and she told her she have 7 days to leave. So the 7 days was passed, and she come. So that is when she came there. And one of the people that was helping to break the house was the man's son, a 14-year-old, saying he was that belongs to the man for another woman. But oh my, Jesus was bacchanal and confusion. And it continued, you know. When
that's why man had to prepare properly for the spouse.
That's Stop right.
And woman just go and live with man and he ain't get this secure.
Stop doing it. They're not told, they're not learning. Yeah. Like they don't read. Because if you read, if people read papers many a day, I see where women lose out in court because they didn't qualify for the 5-year period living with the husband. They ain't getting nothing. And even if you qualify, sometimes you almost ain't get anything. So it's a whole bacchanal. Anyhow, later.
That ex-wife who you never divorced, coming back and taking every single thing. Trust me.
Human nature, boy. Oh, good.
Are you telling me?
Yeah, boy.
You telling me?
It's not a song, Sir Charles.
Yes, it is. Human nature. It had a kind of bacchanal in it. But
yes, Scorpion Pepper. They have rights after a certain period, right? That's why Zena mentioned it among the years.
5 years, 5 years.
If it happens before that, you cook.
Once you're in a cohabitational once you're in a cohabitational relationship, 5 years and more. You have to be able to prove it, though.
And you better hold on for the 5 years if you want to get something. Unless it's abusive thing, where you could bust it. If it's just a little quarrel.
The poll is up.
Man, just watch at a little woman or a little talk to somebody. I was like, you're not quarrel for that. If the woman just watch at a little guy, you're not quarrel for that. I don't teach people how to do this love thing, you know.
I remember once I was in a bar and a woman came up to me to ask me.
I thought you were going to say you were in a common law relationship, you know?
No.
Oh.
I was in a bar. Bar sounds nothing like common law relationship. And a woman came to ask me for my autograph because she, I guess, knew who I was, or she just wanted it from knowing me from wherever, Westwood Park Place, whatever. And I was giving her the autograph. The man come and start to abuse her, who she talking to, no kind of bacchanal.
You cause a bacchanal in a bar?
And I gave her it was an autograph on a napkin. Because that's what she had. And I said, okay, sure. Because she asked me to sign it. And the man take the napkin and rip it up and no kind of bacchanal.
But you get away, you're lucky. You want to call for backup.
What did I do? I continued to sip on my Heineken. I have no issue. That's not my business. But I mean, if you're with a man like that, my advice to you is to get out of that.
Yeah. But put wheels on the heels.
Your choice. I know they lied.
Run away. Run away.
Yes, that was a famous tune by Francine, eh?
Yes. Dog can run away.
It's 7 o'clock.
Woman,
we going and run away for news.
Fowlers run away. Dog does run away. Cat does run
You
away,
pull this up,
woman.
or they could vote on it.
Put some wheels on your heels and run away too. Oh Lord. All right, our poll is up, people.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Fired central bank governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire is taking legal action against the state, demanding nearly $10 million in damages for what he calls an orchestrated plot to remove him from office. Hilaire was dismissed in June and replaced by former finance minister Larry Hawaii. He says out-of-court settlement talks with the state have gone nowhere, and his legal team, led by former Prime Minister Stuart Young, SC, will now take the matter to the High Court. A pre-action letter sent to the Attorney General argues that Cabinet acted illegally and in bad faith when it advised the President to revoke Hilaire's appointment. Hilaire claims he was pressured to resign by Planning Minister Kennedy Swarat Singh, who allegedly offered a state-funded payout for the remainder of his term. When he refused, he says he was handed a revocation notice the same evening. His attorneys argue the move was unconstitutional, politically motivated, and an abuse of power. Hilaire is seeking $9.8 million plus legal costs. Justice Minister Devesh Maharaj says changes to his security detail are being considered after death threats were issued to several cabinet colleagues. Defense Minister Wayne Sturge, Local Government Minister Khadija Amin, and Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath have all received threats in recent weeks. Sturge's threats are reportedly linked to his refusal to meet demands from a financier seeking influence over appointments in his constituency office and state agencies. Amin and Padarath, meanwhile, were threatened after the cancellation of all CPEP and URP contracts, pending audits into corruption claims. Asked about his own safety during a tour of the Port of Spain Magistrates Court, Maharaj echoed the Prime Minister, saying he was always concerned about the safety of all citizens. He added, "It is a serious situation," and confirmed his security is under review. Cricket legend Brian Lara's $1 million endorsement deal with TSTT has ended and was not renewed, though the state-owned telecoms company says it remains open to future discussions. The contract, which expired in July 2022, paid Lara $250,000 quarterly, along with phones and up to $150,000 in bills annually. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath confirmed he spoke with Lara, who distanced himself from speculation and said he still enjoys a strong relationship with the company. But the issue sparked political tension. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley defended Lara on Facebook, calling him an icon who must not be disrespected, and accused the government of targeting him through TSTT's scorched earth approach. Padarath dismissed that, saying the contract actually expired under Rowley's administration and was not renewed then either. TSTT, meanwhile, says Lara remains part of its extended family. A 19-year-old student who had just celebrated success in his Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Exams, CAPE, died in a road accident on the Beetham Highway last night. Police identified the victim as Kavish Prasad of Aranguez, who recently earned 5 Grade 1 passes and 1 Grade 2. Around 10 p.m., Prasad was driving east in a white Hyundai when he attempted to overtake a brown Mitsubishi at high speed. Both vehicles lost control, police said. Prasad's car struck the Beetham water main, went airborne, and landed in a nearby waterway, while the other vehicle crashed into a grassy area. Beetham residents and passersby pulled Prasad from the wreckage, but he did not survive. Just a day earlier, his father, Pundit Maniadeo Prasad, had shared a Facebook post congratulating his son on his outstanding CAPE results. Police are continuing investigations. A Princestown couple was tied up and robbed early Tuesday morning after 4 masked men broke into their home. Police say the 46-year-old laborer and his partner, who runs a parlor on the premises, were asleep around 3 a.m. when the intruders entered through a window. One was armed with a knife, another spoke with a Spanish accent, and all had their faces covered, The man was beaten during a struggle and his partner cut on her hand before both were tied with cloth. The bandits ransacked the house, stealing gold jewelry, $4,000 cash, a Samsung A14 cell phone, cigarettes, a jumpstart battery pack, and the keys to 2 vehicles. The suspects then escaped into nearby bush. Police say they have reviewed CCTV footage, interviewed residents, and advised the victims to seek medical attention. In international news, the Israeli military says it is calling up 60,000 reservists ahead of a planned ground assault to capture and occupy all of Gaza City. Troops are already operating in Zaytun and Jabalia, with the full offensive awaiting Security Cabinet approval. Defense Minister Israel Katz says Gaza will no longer look as it did in the past once the operation is complete. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are expected to be ordered south, with Israel promising shelters and field hospitals in Al-Mawasi. The plan has drawn global condemnation. French President Emmanuel Macron warned it can only lead to disaster, while the Red Cross said further displacement would worsen Gaza's humanitarian crisis. Mediators Qatar and Egypt are still pushing a 60-day truce and partial hostage release. But Israel insists on a comprehensive deal covering all captives, though only about 20 are believed alive. 5 divisions are expected to take part in what the military calls the next phase of Operation Gideon's Chariots. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The Mid-Morning Mix and Mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
CRS Calypso Productions presents Revival the Concert 5, paying tribute to 2 Calypso icons, Maestro and Brother Valentino, happening on Saturday 30th August 2025. Special performance by none other than Brother Valentino himself. Featured performers will be King Luther, Cardinal, Exposer, Kinte, Emba, Hamedullah, Lady Listra, Roxy Singh, Brother Mac, Travis the Artist, Tall Blacks, The Messenger, and Sheldon Nugget. Also DJ Cool Moody and more. Taking place at Pleasantville Community Center. Early bird tickets are $150 until the 20th of July. Then it's $200. Time is from 8 p.m. Tickets available at Sion's, Royal Road, and Ateliers by the Park. Or contact 343-5182 or 492-1066. You don't want to miss this one.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Anytime you bounce up a races and you hear them running them out, it have a whole set of people don't care what they talking about. A racist is someone living happy and all their family doing well. So race talk is really not for people in the ghetto catching hell. Now tell them racists sufferers don't care about color. Sufferers don't care about race. Sufferers don't care who migrate from where or who living in who place. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from town. Sufferers who please. Sufferers don't care who from country. Sufferers don't care who from tongue. Sufferers only want to hear where the next food coming from.
Morning vibe, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
As we welcome everybody inside of the 7 o'clock hour, of course, you are listening to New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. We're taking you above and beyond. So glad to be in your company. And of course, remember, we stream all day, every day at newerattradio.com. New Era TT Radio for all you folks on TuneIn with your Alexa and Google devices. Good morning to you people. And to all the folks that are streaming with us on M&E TV, we welcome you. And we want to say thanks to the folks from M&E TV because on the 1st of September, we migrate across the channel or Gael Caribbean. So you will get us there from September the 1st, all right? Also, remember your next engagement on the YouTube channel, for all you people on the YouTube channel right now, your next engagement on the YouTube channel will be at 4 p.m. this afternoon with Andy Johnson inside of the Drive Time Exchange, all right? So before we get into the poll and all the other things that will be coming up, let's pay some bills and come back.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Coach, yes, Coach, are you passionate about serving others and supporting people as they reach the highest version of themselves? My name is Jesse McBarrow, and I've been able to earn a living as a life coach serving people all around the world, and so can you. Are you ready to be internationally certified? Enroll today for this program and learn everything that you need to know about being a professional life coach. Listen, there are payment plans available as well too, so see you in class.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Of course, we are back, and of course, let me just bring up the poll one more time as we go to our poll results for our poll this morning. All
right,
that's our poll this morning. So people can continue to vote as we start to count the votes.
Yeah, of course, we played this video for you with the American Vice President making comments reference to Trinidad and Tobago. So our poll is, are you concerned?
Are you concerned about the comments by Vice President J.D. Vance referencing crime in TNT? He did this in D.C., saying that D.C.'s murder rate was higher than Trinidad and Tobago's. So are you concerned about the comments by Vice President J.D. Vance referencing crime in Trinidad and Tobago? That's our poll this morning.
All right. And we start off with Kazim Mohammed saying yes. I'll just read the poll results, folks. I know that a lot of you would have commented otherwise, but I'll do just the poll, right? Kazim Mohammed, yes. Gregory Boyer, yes. Rena Jennings, yes. Josie Richardson, yes. Ava Smith, yes. Miguel Gonzalez, yes. Diane Payne, yes. Lester Cragwell says yes. Kurt Hope also says yes. Trini Gets Fit, yes. Sankofa, no. Helen Prescott, yes. Brennan Smith, yes. Marlon Motley, yes. Michael Robinson, yes. Bernadette Yates, yes. Candice Weeks, yes. Kenwin Henry, yes. Scorpion Pepper said no. Slick Money Grip, yes. Andre says no. Margaret Thomas, yes. Mango Gelato says yes. Lincoln says no. Beauty Culture says yes. Ron DeSantis Jr. says yes. David McCarthy says yes. Chris Tusa says yes. CJ from New York says no. Michael Oliver says yes. Jason Samuel didn't vote. Robert Taylor, yes. Marlene Saunders Sobers, yes. Lincoln, no. Did he vote already?
Yeah, he voted already.
Sherma Paul, yes. Sherwin Kerr, yes. Terence Roach, no. Eunice Dublin, yes. Julia Batiste, yes. Wayne Joseph, yes. Finbar Collins says no. All right.
All right. So on the WhatsApp, we have Judith out there in Tobago says yes. Archbishop Ashton Clark said yes. Captain Ron says yes. Chris did not vote. Zena says yes. Sandra says yes. Mr. Billy says yes. Valerie says no. Frank says no. Mahi says yes. Fifi says yes. All right.
So those are I have two more for you, Richard. Melchizedek says yes, and Chevron Chogan says no. All right. The U.S. Guardian troops, based on a story we read, folks, in the Caribbean concerning drug smuggling and so on, right? And a lot of people are linking it and assuming that it's about an attack on Venezuela. Be careful, they ain't come here too, eh? We have people like that here too, eh? Be careful, okay? Right.
Our morning poll, are you concerned about the comments by Vice President J.D. Vance referencing crime in Trinidad and Tobago? We had 53 people voting on the poll this morning, and of the 53 people, 43 of you said yes, you are concerned. 10 of you said, nah, I'm not. So 43 were saying yes, and 10 said no. So the yeas have it this morning. They are concerned about the comments by Vice President J.D. Vance referencing crime in TNT. The yeas have it at 43, and the nays said no. So the yeas, you won it this morning in our microcosmic poll on our show. The poll is now done. It's finished. Kaput!
That's it.
All right. We just have a short interview with the Vicar General, the Venerable Edwin Primus of the Anglican Church. Of course, concerning the day of prayer and so on. He represents, well, better he tells us, but I would have contacted Bishop Claude Berkeley and he directed me to the Vicar General. So we're going to have him for a few minutes talking about these.
So we can do that now.
What?
We can go ahead.
He's online already?
Yes, I have him online.
Oh, okay. Good morning, Venerable.
Just a second.
That's for Wendell. Hold on.
All right. All Richard has to do is talk.
Yeah.
Good morning, Vicar General.
Good morning to you and all listening and in your studio.
Hi, morning, Venerable Edwin Primus.
Morning.
All right. Could you explain to us first, for our listeners, that is, what is your position as Vicar General of the Anglican Church? What exactly does that entail?
The Vicar General is administrative post. You may say in local parlance, second in command administratively. Assistant bishop in administrative and pastoral work. And whenever the bishop is out of the diocese or unable to function, the Vicar General will administer the diocese until such time. The Vicar General has a wide range set of responsibility and powers, to use that term. Not a permanent, but he or she can make temporary appointments for the effective function of the diocese, the bishop's absence. So it's at the pleasure of the bishop, so to speak. As you detail to a senior priest, or your archdeacon.
Okay. And you will be based where? Are you based at the Anglican Diocese in Portersfield?
Well, my substantive base is in Port San Fernando. But at this period, I function a couple of days out of the diocesan office in Portersfield.
Okay, all right. So thanks for clearing that up. So you're like the deputy bishop at the end of the day?
No. You are the deputy bishop. We are a Vicar General.
Okay, all right.
Well, people call it up, it's not that.
All right. Appreciate.
Well, Vicar General, thanks for joining us. We just wanted to get your sense of some of the issue of religion in Trinidad and Tobago and how much it affects everyday life, because we have a lot of people who pray and, of course, believe in God in Trinidad and Tobago of different faiths. And of course, the Independence Day celebrations were cancelled this year in favor of a day of prayer and reflection. How do you contextualize a day of prayer and reflection? And do you think that days of prayer and reflection matter or move the needle in any direction?
Well, let me first say that as a church, we are people of prayer, and prayer is important. We believe in God and the power of God to work in our land and change and transform and so forth. Now, the context of this day of prayer, I haven't heard exactly what direction the government is going. But it's important that we as a nation come together and pray, not just in terms of crisis, but generally, because as you are aware in the media, we live in a rapidly changing environment. I heard your clip on the Vice President of the Diocese of America. So all these things influence and affect how we live. So if we are saying that as a nation, we feel that we need to get closer to God because things are happening, dark clouds growing over our land, and we want to put our nation together, not just for a one-day event, but to bring us together to recognize that we ought to go to our Supreme Being for guidance and strength to help us as a nation as we journey forward. 63 years, a short time, much achieved, but many challenges. And as I look around our landscape, we need to really get closer to divine as a people, not just as a part-time, but as Stalin said, not part-time loving, but full-time loving. We need God. And if we come to a clear understanding of the power of God and of peace and goodwill, I think we might be a better nation. When one is sincere and not partisan and ought to score any political points. That is my concern.
Yeah. Do you think that religion in Trinidad and Tobago has failed the society? Because the society has descended in terms of a criminal element that has terrorized citizens. I mean, for years, it's not new.
Yes.
And of course, our statistics and everything are pretty high. We have a multiplicity of faiths in this country, and a lot of people praying in different ways. Yet, and a lot of religious leaders, and you have an organization like the IRO, but yet the country seems to be, it's a benchmark for the wrong reasons. Has religion failed in Trinidad and Tobago?
No. Religion hasn't failed. The people who kill religious may have failed and diverted from the path of holiness and righteousness and care and concern. We are human beings. We were created good according to our teaching. We fail, we sin according to the Bible, and we have lost in a large measure that sense of being human. We have achieved a lot. We're involved in technology and science, academic, national instrument. We have achieved a lot. But that humanity, we are human, but we have lost our humanity. That sense of care and concern, mutual respect, giving and taking, understanding that we are different, but we want to be disagreeable, that we must see the goodness of each other. We must walk hand in hand. Because at the end of the day, this is our land. And we have to give, we have to sacrifice. So religion will continue to be a source of hope and strength, but we encourage each other and be faithful and trustworthy. The people must have confidence in us that when we say, this says the Lord, we pray, we mean it. We must be example. We can't say, you must drive on the right side of the road and then you walk on the street, drive on the left side of the road. No double standards. I think that's the problem. Some of us are creating double standards by the way we speak and how we behave. Some of us join political games along the way and we lose sight that we are human beings because we must love one another despite of what's happening. We are meant to be together. And that's religion offers that hope. And once there's that hope, religion hasn't failed, my brothers.
Venerable Primus, the fact that the government has announced the day of prayer, what would be the how I should put it, the Anglican Church's position on it in terms of their flock?
Okay. Well, as I said before, we haven't heard exactly what direction, but we will call our members to observe the day of prayer. For independence, we have special, we call it purpose or readings about nation building. So we'll continue to use that. We'll have nation building songs and hymns, and our sermons and so forth will be centered on national unity and how we can work in partnership in all things legal and just to build a better nation. Because the church is one of the bedrock of society. People still reach out to God. And the Anglican Church, we will be praying, we ask our members to pray, we will not be partisan because it's Trinidad and Tobago. And on our anthem, God bless our nation, we have one race, we find an equal place. So we'll be focusing on prayer. If the government sends out any special intentions, we will include them in our worship. Because many churches are already planning to have special Independence Day services to focus on our nation, how we can build, how we can grow, we can transform. Because Trinidad is a blessed land. And what the diplomats say, we're not leaving. We're staying right here because God put us here for our purpose. So that's how we go about it.
All right. So that is going to take place on this Sunday, which is Independence Day.
Yes, he said he first, yes.
Right, okay.
Do you see a decline, Vicar General, in the issue of empathy among human beings, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but globally? And if you take social media as part of the construct of society, there's so many comments on social media that are hateful, made by Trinidadians and Tobagonians who, on the probability of statistics, are religious, but say hateful and horrible things, either from a political toxicity point of view, or for whatever point of view. It's like Venezuelans. I'm just giving Venezuelans as an example. They may not want, foreigners or be very xenophobic. whatever their issues are, does the church see the lack of empathy as a problem even among its flock?
Yes. I will say, I will let us say yes, because my own experience within some people display that kind of behavior towards strangers. We have a ministry of migrants by our priest father Jesus Latan, where he's reaching out to the migrants. He's a Venezuelan himself. And in his quest to really bring wholeness and healing, sometimes he encounters that kind of phobia. Now, we as Trinidadians, I think we have a negative pattern. We like to go in other places and live and be treated well. We go to North America, we put up New York, all over the place. But when they come to us, we tend to show them what we call a bad face. Because if people showed us that kind of bad face, as well as where would we be? So many of our parents and foreparents migrated, quote unquote, for better life. And that empathy is lacking in cases. We are rather selfish. I was to say my brother at times. And that pains me a lot. And I'm praying to God and that the Anglican Church that we will formulate and work at some kind of plan or policy to expand and see that we are one. We experience challenges here and there. And how can we come together? Bear in mind all whatever may happen, how can we come together and put forward something that's positive or for hope? We can make it if we try. And if we don't try again. Because we are human beings, we are brothers and sisters keeper. And therefore, if we see each other in that way, perhaps the empathy may come along. Not right away, because of who we are, selfish by nature. But it's something that we are concerned about, we are praying about, and we are working towards achieving within our flock and our social partners in the nation.
Tell me something. I mean, this might seem like a strange question, but does the Anglican Church have a presence, and I'm talking about the Trinidad and Tobago Anglican Church, does it have a presence on social media, like on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, where you emanate some of your messages?
We have
emanate those messages.
Yes, because we have a Diocesan Communication Committee. We have a Anglican Facebook page, etc. So we have a communication committee that treats with social media issues, and to ensure that we are out there in the social world, media world, and we are engaging training personnel so that we can come, including clergy. I myself now learning this thing, so that we can communicate with what is happening with the society and be in tune and get our message out there, because we cannot pretend the world has gone social media. Many of our parishes, our sermons, we have online programs. So yes, we have a presence and we seek to be relevant.
Tell me something.
What's happening?
Yeah, tell me something with regard to the Anglican Church. I don't know if you would know this, but is it a declining flock? Is it a static flock, or is it a growing flock?
Well, we have been for the past few years addressing that recently as CSO figures. Last year, we are declining. And it's a major concern for us at the level administration, down to the block. And we have had a number of programs seeking to address declining membership. It's not an easy task, but we are mindful that we are not at the level we were in previous years. And from the CSO stats, many years, and let's say the Anglican, we have dropped. We have dropped as a major concern for us, and we are working towards reclaiming or share the market, use that term, or to win more souls. So we have dropped, and it's a concern. The factors.
What do you think accounts for that? Is it that people are not seeing religion as being relevant to their lives anymore?
There are multiple factors. That may be one, and then two, our we have to change with the time. Perhaps some people feel that we are too slow in our development, right? And perhaps things like, for instance, here people say we are boring, the music, like you see in the so-called modern church. So we are reflecting to see and having consultation at all levels to get a feedback as to what are some of the factors that are contributing towards that decline and how we can arrest that decline, perhaps modernizing but remain faithful to the gospel, to love God and to love one another ourselves. So we have had a number of agencies coming in. Right now we have a Diocese strategic plan where we are looking at how we can increase our membership, how we can strengthen the product that we are offering to not only our flock, but the wider side.
Okay. I was just wondering about that because I think the Catholic Church also suffers some level of declining numbers. So I know it would be a concern. I'm not so sure about other religions like the Muslim faith or Hinduism. I'm not so sure whether they're experiencing declining numbers too. But you're wondering how much are some people seeing religion's importance in their everyday life, and how much they think that religion can help with the problems of today. In terms of what we're seeing happening in the world today and also in Trinidad and Tobago today. People who have kind of lost that hope that religion has provided any answers, what would you say to them?
Okay. Well, first let me say we are becoming more and more secular in our approach to things in all of that. The secularization of society, the self-respect, the I, not the we. All right? That whole secularization, the modern technology and AI and all these things. I would say to persons who of that decline, of that inclination, do not give up. Stop and reflect. Reflect on perhaps your own journey, where you are. What may have caused you to come to that state of understanding, and continue to have faith, to trust in God, to allow God to work in your life, and be human, recognizing that we are made to live together, and there are times we'll have challenges, and we need to be measured in our responses to things that cause us to fly over the hat. There's hope, there's also improvement. I believe in the goodness of God. When I see people, I see God's goodness in them, even when they're challenging. So I believe that there's something good is coming. Hold on, don't let go. Give God praise and be a brother and sister's keeper. And things like that. I am optimist.
Yeah. Well, I'm with you there. I tend to be optimistic about stuff. But how does do you think that and I know you could only probably answer for the Anglican Church, but do you think that religions are too silent in terms of some of the things that happen in the country, that they're not vocal enough or commenting enough? And I'm phrasing it in this way. A lot of the times you have political commentary that comes from both sides that can sometimes be toxic and not helpful in terms of the communication style of both parties. They come across sometimes condescending. Both parties, they come around sometimes how you call it, not only condescending but arrogant, and sometimes their language is not complimentary in terms of religious principles. But I don't hear, at least I can't remember hearing religious bodies speaking up on it and saying, okay, look, let's raise the level of the communication style. It almost seems as if the religious bodies in the country kind of shy away from the politics that goes back and forth between the two main parties. Am I right in thinking that? And do you think that there is a responsibility?
I want to say to you that that's me speaking here.
Yeah.
I have that view. I'm of that view. Because I think the church religion need to be moral compass to pull these factions together. Because I often find that the commentary is so violent, even in Parliament. I know children looking on and so forth. I don't know why. I know that most of the churches, we have a border social responsibility, but I guess people are kind of cautious because, you know, in this kind of society, I want to say people are afraid that if what they say, whoever before that we don't like, there may be some kind of sanction down the road. But if we have to be prophetic, thus says the Lord, we have to speak out, we have to weigh the options. Nothing wrong to my mind in saying, my brother, but we view with concern what is said. After due consideration, we make a further comment. I remember one time, the now deceased and well-known Archbishop Anthony Pantin, a previous government floated the idea of cloning. And all I heard Archbishop Pantin said, we have taken note. And that was the end of that, because probably didn't want to come against that particular regime. We have to say yes, we note the concern, we call to more civil conversation, softer interaction, because sometimes the conversation that comes and the comments lead to the decadence in our society, you know. Because who are going to say, if they could be so, then who are we? And I agree with you, and I think we are too silent, and I would like the church I belong to, and part leadership, become more vociferous after due consideration and make representation for a better land, better communication. I feel we are too silent, and we could speak out without being partisan. It's not about the color you support, you know, but the human development and living. And I find we are too silent, and because of that, the quality of our human life and living is descending more and more and more to our peril.
Yeah. Unfortunately, our politics is not mature enough to accept those kind of comments, especially depending on who's in power at the point in time. They will always take it as an attack on them. we haven't matured. The politics hasn't matured enough to deal with that. But I hear you and I support you in terms, because I always believe in speaking my mind, regardless of how people feel. You understand? But I'm not too sure our politics is mature enough for things like that, especially coming from church leaders.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Because you know why I brought it up, Vicar General, because there's so many issues that pop up in Trinidad and Tobago from time to time. I mean that gets, you know, in different corners, it's different pockets. So you may have the political toxicity in one pocket. You have the issue of police behavior and police killings ramping up, and of course the Police Complaints Authority. I'm just giving you an example. David West would have said, look, there's an uptick in police killings, and they're monitoring it. And then you have one of the ministers saying, oh, why they don't talk about the murder rates or whatever, which is not their mandate. Their mandate is police behavior. And so you know, it almost seems as if people are cowering, and it almost seems as if religion is also cowering or not feeling that it's part of their responsibility to comment and say, well, look, we are concerned about police killings because every human life matters. But that's the philosophy of religion. But you don't hear those kinds of statements, but you don't hear anything really. At least I'm not aware of anything being said by any religious body. And I'm just giving examples. I don't mean that there's a requirement to speak on those particular issues, but I'm just giving examples of things that erupt in the society, and there seems to be a silence from the people who are in control, figuratively and literally, of the moral compass of the country.
And you know, I share your sentiment. I don't know what it is, but I'm concerned that we are not as involved as a church in what's happening in our nation. But we are coming to a nation building. There's something, even the fear of reprisal some of people do not feel that in their place, that their place only to speak about salvation. But if there is decadence in our society, there can be no salvation. And if those pocket issues you speak about are affecting human life and living, then we're in trouble. Because the same people who are affected by the home invasion and the this and the that, the same people who make up, in a large measure, the membership of our churches. And therefore, you don't have to wait until it hit home to speak up. We have to express concern. We don't have the answers, but we possess concern and be prepared to work with the authorities and whoever to bring about a just solution to these matters, because our children feel at stake, or women or men. I mean, if what the Vice President of the United States reference to will have an effect, then we're in trouble. Because to reference Trinidad and Tobago in that context, I mean, that we are going to the world state here saying that there's so much crime in Trinidad and Tobago, do not come here. What is that saying to us? And the church was say, hey, let us come to forget our differences, not about doctrine, but a human life and living. How can we live together? Make Trinidad and Tobago safe, a place we want to come to, where I would like my children to grow up and contribute, and grandchildren and friends come from near and far and say, I want to come to live in Trinidad and Tobago, I want to vacation, I want to have business, what have you, because we have created a culture of peace and harmony. Where differences doesn't mean that we become disagreeable. So there must be some rising. And we have to take it.
I don't know how much time you have. I don't know how much time you have, Vicar General, but would you be willing to take some calls?
My next appointment is 9 o'clock. I have time.
Okay. St. Charles, can we take calls while he's on the line?
Yes, we can. Yeah, so people, you can call us at 281-1315. That's 281-1315.
Yeah, so we're talking to Venerable Vicar General Edwin Primus of the Diocese, the Anglican Church Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago. And of course, we're talking about, religion's place in the country and how it impacts in terms of making the society better, because that ultimately is what religion is supposed to do. It's supposed to lift us to be better than we are. It's aspirational, isn't it? Religion is supposed to be aspirational. It's supposed to lift us to be better, and oftentimes, some religious people are the most vindictive and
that's so unfortunate. We speak love, we don't show love. Unfortunate.
All right, we have a caller there. Caller, good morning to you. 1 minute. Yeah. Right. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. My friend and I, who have the same belief, was having this conversation, and we were of the opinion that the general culture of Trinidadians, that maybe I might be wrong, but I think the general culture of Trinidadians is to be taught when you get up in the morning, you say a prayer. Before you go and sleep, you say a prayer, you say your prayers. I think Trinidad and Tobago have enough prayers. We've been praying since we born, from birth to death. We grew up in a culture of praying. At least the Christian society. I can't speak for the Muslims. Well, the Muslims, I know they pray. 3 times a day they pray. I don't know I can't say about the Hindus, but I'm sure they pray as well. One thing we don't need is more prayer, because the prayer, as far as I'm concerned, the prayer hasn't done anything. We are still in the situation that we're in, and we're still praying. And all these pastors come in and talk about hope and still pray and faith and all these things.
The prayer hasn't done anything for you.
The
prayer hasn't done anything for you.
You're talking for yourself there.
Yeah, speak for yourself. Prayer hasn't done anything for you.
I am speaking for myself.
Good.
Okay.
And the country is still in the way it is, and crime is still the way it is, and criminals still do the things that they have to do, and everybody praying, and nothing is changing.
for you.
But what's your take, Vicar General, on the comment from that caller?
No, I haven't heard it at all, you know.
Oh, he's not hearing. He's basically saying that prayer has not worked. He's saying basically that prayer has not worked. That Trinidad is still in a dire state, and people say they're praying from all various religious faiths, and it has not worked. It has not transformed the society.
Okay. Well, I would agree with that. Perhaps the caller's experience is that. And unfortunately, I encourage her to continue to trust in God, because there are many out there who can testify that prayer works and is working. If you do a poll now, you'll find that. I can testify in my own life. So prayer works. Probably people want prayer in a particular way. God doesn't answer prayer the way we want it. You know, sometimes we have to wait and we have to be ready. So sometimes it's their personal experience, but prayer works. I mean, like 1990. It's most one of the prayers I've ever heard in my life. When we were under that dark shadow, we prayed and prayed and prayed, because they believe in the power of prayer, and we wanted some stability. Otherwise, we pray. We will pray. And it was probably. It's unfortunate that's person's experience.
Yeah, he probably prayed for the lotto numbers so the last 20 years and he didn't get it. So he's saying praying. That's probably what happened.
That's right.
As far as he's concerned, prayer no work because he didn't get the lotto numbers.
Yes.
But Vicar, in at the end of it, when you look back, even through time, the challenges that we are facing today, where the church is, and I don't want to use the word survival, but you know, it seems that it has always been a challenge.
From the beginning, when the beginning of creation, at the beginning of the church, that we are challenged. I mean, Jesus himself, even though he didn't form a church himself, but the early church, you were challenged of people believe. They didn't believe this or that or the other. Paul, in writing the Corinthians, had to write churches in discipline. You know, and so I've heard so and so and so and so. So because of human nature, because we want certain things now and right now, we don't want to wait. We don't want to make a sacrifice. We say that, but once we don't have our being, we have challenges. In your own profession, there are challenges. In your home and family life, whatever, sports, we have challenges. Because things are not static, they are changing, and so they want to change with the time. It was done so before, it was always done like that. We're not open to new learnings and experiences. So therefore, we will find that's what we have to press on. Life is evolving, it's not the same. The years gone by, it takes so many years to go to, or so many days, sorry, to go to some island or going on a boat in no time. Things are changing, and we have to adjust and help those who have a difficult to adjust. And things will get better because we are a blessed land. I don't say that God is a Trinidad, but we are a blessed land. And there are blessed people here, and we have to work to overcome all that is negative and replace it with what is good, for the betterment of all. Those here and those unborn, those to come. But we want to play our part, we want to put our shoulders to the wheel and be positive. I think sometimes we are too negative in our approach to life in this country. Perhaps we have things to get things too easily or whatever. But it's a blessed land. We work, I say, I can still go to a neighbor and get something to eat. Or they will still bring something. In some countries, that will happen, There are no neighbors at all. Everybody to himself. So we still have a lot to be thankful for. And let us cherish the goodness of God. And don't wait until when we are in crisis to cry out to God. Thank Him now for what we have.
I think that
I thank God for this opportunity to share. So let's we agree to everybody, at least we are communicating. I thank you for the opportunity for that.
And Vicar, probably that probably might be the problem that we might be facing, because when things are going right in people's lives, most of the time they don't really reach out to God and stuff. You know, it's always when things start to go the next direction that you find people reaching out. So maybe you're right. Maybe we have things too good.
Well, sometimes people do appreciate whatever good befalls them, and they do express gratitude to whoever they perceive God to be. So you have people who do that too. So I wouldn't, I wouldn't brush it. Vicar General, somebody brought up an interesting question. It's interesting to me. Jason Samuel, he asked, if it is that you pray for someone and that someone doesn't really want your prayer, does prayer still work?
Yes, because you're praying with your God. Because you know, praying, we are not trying to direct God how things should be. Because some people just send a blind and said, if someone and you have difficulty and you forgive them, you extend a hand of friendship, and they don't want it, your conscience is clear because you have done the right thing, and that be them. So the prayer will still work. Not in the way you want to see it in black and white, but God will work in and through. And sometimes we don't see results immediately. And that's sometimes as our child we want to see it immediately. But it works.
Sometimes the world can be so hard. Life can be hard for so many people, and then you have horrible tragedies that take place, and you wonder where was God in all of that. A child dies in a strange circumstance, like the child that died in the hospital. The situation. The accident recently there. The accident, last night or the night before. The young boy is 19 years old. And I suppose at points sometimes people can find strength in God and belief in God, but sometimes people despair and say, God, where are you? In situations like that. For those who believe in God, because of course there's also a section that does not believe in God. But for those that do believe, they find sometimes security, or they may admonish God. Where were you? Why did you take my child? And I know I don't want to be glib, but sometimes religious people say God knows best, but that's not enough of an answer.
No. And I agree with you because what the saying goes is those who in the kitchen for the heat. That kind of thing. Things happen in life. No one wants tragedy to take place. Yes, we cry out because we are seeing answers. Why? If God is still loving and kind, God is still loving and kind, but things happen. Change and decay, life and death. We cannot forestall it. We hope and we pray it wouldn't happen. And that's why the whole thing of offering hope and comfort. And we have to be careful the words we utter when people find themselves in difficult times. Sometimes people do not know what to say, and they say the wrong thing. But sometimes you just say, let go and let God. I'm here for you. We are here for you. Whatever help we can offer, we'll do so. So you let go. The thing I was saying, you all understand. I do always believe in that. But I don't know if I'm wrong. You just did that. People go through pain, and life is about that. We have pain and we have victory. And we have to learn to cope. And how do we cope with death and dying? It's not an easy thing. We pray about it, perhaps we teach about it. But above all, we have to support those who go through that process in the time of grief and questioning. Because we know what it is to live. We know what it is to die. We all want to live,
Yeah.
You use my mantra just now there for years that I use Vicar General. Let go and let God. But I believe too, if people are not selfish and are not ungrateful, that this place will be a lot better. And I'm speaking across the board here. People need to be more selfless as opposed to selfish, and need to be more grateful as opposed to be ungrateful. That's my feeling. And if everybody practice that, whatever small way they could. People practice that in whatever small way they could. It doesn't have to be a financial thing. It just has to be listening to someone, give someone a listening ear, helping out in some kind of situation if you could. You understand? And be thankful for the little things that you've gotten. This place will be a better place. But we don't have people like that again.
Yeah. So Vicar General, this is where we're going to have to end the conversation. So I don't know if you want any closing words to our listening and viewing audience.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I want to say thank you very much, team, for appointing this opportunity to represent the Anglican Church, Diocese of Trinidad and Tobago. We are about proclaiming the good news of love and faithfulness. I want to call upon my fellow citizens to celebrate independence. Yes, like you, I feel disappointed not being able to do the prayer and things like that. But I see that as a temporary diversion for something better. Let's not continue on a negative narrative on it. Let us see it as our opportunity to regroup, retool, and come better in 2026. Let us extend a hand of love and friendship one to the other, and may God bless all nations. That's my closing answer.
All right. Thank you so much, Venerable Vicar General Edwin Primus. We appreciate you having the conversation with us this morning. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
We go straight to 8 o'clock news, and when we come back, we close off.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio. I'm Derek. Fired central bank governor Dr. Alvin Hilaire is taking legal action against the state, demanding nearly $10 million in damages for what he calls an orchestrated plot to remove him from office. Hilaire was dismissed in June and replaced by former finance minister Larry Hawaii. He says out-of-court settlement talks with the state have gone nowhere, and his legal team, led by former Prime Minister Stuart Young, SC, will now take the matter to the High Court. A pre-action letter sent to the Attorney General argues that Cabinet acted illegally and in bad faith when it advised the President to revoke Hilaire's appointment. Hilaire claims he was pressured to resign by Planning Minister Kennedy Swarat Singh, who allegedly offered a state-funded payout for the remainder of his term. When he refused, he says he was handed a revocation notice the same evening. His attorneys argue the move was unconstitutional, politically motivated, and an abuse of power. Hilaire is seeking $9.8 million plus legal costs. Justice Minister Devesh Maharaj says changes to his security detail are being considered after death threats were issued to several cabinet colleagues. Defense Minister Wayne Sturge, Local Government Minister Khadija Amin, and Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath have all received threats in recent weeks. Sturge's threats are reportedly linked to his refusal to meet demands from a financier seeking influence over appointments in his constituency office and state agencies. Amin and Padarath, meanwhile, were threatened after the cancellation of all CPEP and URP contracts, pending audits into corruption claims. Asked about his own safety during a tour of the Port of Spain Magistrates Court, Maharaj echoed the Prime Minister, saying he was always concerned about the safety of all citizens. He added, "It is a serious situation," and confirmed his security is under review. Cricket legend Brian Lara's $1 million endorsement deal with TSTT has ended and was not renewed, though the state-owned telecoms company says it remains open to future discussions. The contract, which expired in July 2022, paid Lara $250,000 quarterly, along with phones and up to $150,000 in bills annually. Public Utilities Minister Barry Padarath confirmed he spoke with Lara, who distanced himself from speculation and said he still enjoys a strong relationship with the company. But the issue sparked political tension. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley defended Lara on Facebook, calling him an icon who must not be disrespected, and accused the government of targeting him through TSTT's scorched earth approach. Padarath dismissed that, saying the contract actually expired under Rowley's administration and was not renewed then either. TSTT, meanwhile, says Lara remains part of its extended family. A 19-year-old student who had just celebrated success in his Caribbean Advanced Proficiency exams, CAPE, died in a road accident on the Beetham Highway last night. Police identified the victim as Kavish Prasad of Aranguez, who recently earned 5 Grade 1 passes and 1 Grade 2. Around 10 p.m., Prasad was driving east in a white Hyundai when he attempted to overtake a brown Mitsubishi at high speed. Both vehicles lost control, police said. Prasad's car struck the Beetham water main, went airborne, and landed in a nearby waterway, while the other vehicle crashed into a grassy area. Beetham residents and passersby pulled Prasad from the wreckage, but he did not survive. Just a day earlier, his father, Pundit Maniadeo Prasad, had shared a Facebook post congratulating his son on his outstanding CAPE results. Police are continuing investigations. A Princestown couple was tied up and robbed early Tuesday morning after 4 masked men broke into their home. Police say the 46-year-old laborer and his partner, who runs a parlor on the premises, were asleep around 3 a.m. when the intruders entered through a window. One was armed with a knife, another spoke with a Spanish accent, and all had their faces covered. The man was beaten during a struggle, and his partner cut on her hand before both were tied with cloth. The bandits ransacked the house, stealing gold jewelry, $4,000 cash, a Samsung A14 cell phone, cigarettes, a jumpstart battery pack, and the keys to 2 vehicles. The suspects then escaped into nearby bush. Police say they have reviewed CCTV footage, interviewed residents, and advised the victims to seek medical attention. In international news, the Israeli military says it is calling up 60,000 reservists ahead of a planned ground assault to capture and occupy all of Gaza City. Troops are already operating in Zaytun and Jabalia, with the full offensive awaiting Security Cabinet approval. Defense Minister Israel Katz says Gaza will no longer look as it did in the past once the operation is complete. Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are expected to be ordered south, with Israel promising shelters and field hospitals in Al-Mawasi. The plan has drawn global condemnation. French President Emmanuel Macron warned it can only lead to disaster, while the Red Cross said further displacement would worsen Gaza's humanitarian crisis. Mediators Qatar and Egypt are still pushing a 60-day truce and partial hostage release, but Israel insists on a comprehensive deal covering all captives, though only about 20 are believed alive. 5 divisions are expected to take part in what the military calls the next phase of Operation Gideon's Chariots. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Chamflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Chamflair. We do it all.
Coach, yes, Coach, are you passionate about serving others and supporting people as they reach the highest version of themselves? My name is Jesse McBarrow, and I've been able to earn a living as a life coach serving people all around the world, and so can you. Are you ready to be internationally certified? Enroll today for this program and learn everything that you need to know about being a professional life coach. Listen, there are payment plans available as well too, so see you in class.
Of course, this is where we come to an end in terms of the breakfast show this morning. I'm putting the wrong thing right. So this is where we come to an end for the breakfast show this morning. And we are wrapping it up on this Thursday morning. Of course, the weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. So have a fantastic day, whatever you do. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
I just wanted to read one comment that from Jason Samuel. He said, if prayer is not from the heart, the answer or results won't come from the heart where God resides. It will come from one's prejudices like dislikes, etc., etc. I totally subscribe to that. Thank you for that comment, Jason Samuel. And thank you, folks, for our show this morning. It's been a tough morning for me. Hopefully it'll get better. But have a wonderful day. Remember, one life, live it.
Right, so New Era TT Radio continues on the stream, newerattradio.com, and of course, New Era TT Radio on TuneIn for smart devices, etc., etc. Great programming throughout the day, so you can tune in. Have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing, and remember to smile and laugh. As I said before, it's great for your health. Yeah. Speak to you bright and early tomorrow morning. The weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. This has been
The Breakfast
Show.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Wake up, it's a brand